Welcome, Billy Bones. Segment 2. 3 main directions that this can go into, and this video will show you all 3 of them. You can click ahead to the bottom to see the different versions. Basically, the first version is pretty much what I would do if I was doing an RTA in the same basic route. The second is very risky and doesn't pay off, otherwise that would just totally be the segment. And the third is ridiculously conservative and also kind of boring. So, now the main goal at this point of the game is we need to get to level 6. As soon as we get to level 6, that enables us to have the boat, and once we have the boat we can move the plot along, we can hunt nickel metal slimes, a number of things can happen once we have the boat. So the goal is to get to level 6 as fast as possible, which means we have to do some things that we might not like to do, one of which is selling that slime crown right now. Now, I know if you've ever played this game casually, you are freaking out because, oh my god, you do not sell the slime crown. Reasons why. First of all, there's only 2, and if you play the Japanese version, there's only 1. It's an amazing item, and it only gets better, and once you sell it, it's gone forever. Reasons why we're going to sell it. First of all, at this point, we're going to have Hero for quite a while, and he can't use the slime crown, so it's going to just take him space in our inventory. And 2, we want to get to level 6 as fast as possible. So the best way to do that is to buy the most powerful items that we can to get to that level 6. Now, the only place we can shop right now is Fairbury, but we actually can do some shopping at Port Prospect, which I'll talk about. Basically, the state we're in for the game right now, if you go a place that does not have NPCs and you wait for the animation that goes from either day to night or night to day, that will spawn NPCs. So, if we were standing in Port Prospect when the sun set or the sun rises, the NPCs in that area will spawn. Now, sunset does nothing for us because the only NPCs there at sunset is that old lady who stares at the water. Sunrise is amazing because the shops are outdoors, so we can shop at the shops there. And we already have the zoom for it, so we can get there right away. So what's really happening in this segment is we're basically waiting for the sun to rise so we can get better equipment from Port Prospect and trying to get as many levels as possible so we can be at level 6 quickly. The other option, and this is what you'll see in the second version here, will be going directly to Port Prospect and trying to fight those mobs at level 1 without the best equipment. Yeah. So RTA I would definitely do this in this version. Now the goal right now we're trying to do is to get to level 2. Once we're at level 2 we'll fight the one night stand, which is basically the same sort of strategy that happens if you're doing an RTA, just in general this game without any glitches. The reason to fight OKS, he gives pretty good experience. Also, he gives that metal would we ever be short of gold later on, which we most certainly will be. Now, sadly, we haven't had the best encounters. There's been a number of slimes. What you really want are cats, and even lips are okay, but slimes just, they're only one experience. It's almost not worth it. So what I'm doing right now is trying to get one more encounter, and trying to get an encounter in the forest, because there's different enemies to encounter in the forest. Stronger gangs, better experience. And now that we're finally level 2, we can fight OKS. Now, level 6 is going to require 318, 320, something like that experience. And the mobs that are around here, all those slimes that give 2 experience, yeah, that's going to take a very long time. Luckily, at night and in certain areas, you get a little bit better encounters. But really the best encounters we can get to right now, that we can actually have a shot at beating a Port Prospect, because once you're there, you can get 30 or 40 experience into this. Now, OKS is nice, because he will give you 30 experience on his own, which is great. You're 1/10 of the way there. Downside, though, is you're going to burn herbs to kill him. And every time you kill him, he's going to disappear until you enter Waterfall Cave, for instance, and come back out. So one option would be to just kill OKS, go in a Waterfall Cave, come back out, kill OKS again, and just do that 9-10 times. Problem is then you have to be redoing your inventory every single time to move the herbs around, and it's going to take a lot of time. So what this segment is going to do instead is basically kill time, kill some mobs. And the way it's going to kill time, go to the cheese quest. So if I was grinding this segment, I'd make sure that we completed cheese quest, take out OKS. Also, there's another chest with just some extra gold behind the tool bag, which you might be able to get to. But you'll see there's only so much time to the sunrise, so that might be tight. Now, despite the good experience, I cannot stand bubble slimes. For that reason, they poison you. There's only so many antidotal herbs, and just it kills time having to unpoison yourself all the time, so it's just really annoying. Even though they have decent experience that they give you, they have quite a bit of health, so it can take a couple turns to kill them. Also, they poison you, which just wastes time. You see the menu for that. Now, for some reason up here, the game starts lagging. I think it just has to load the entire map of everything. And again, work in progress here, so there'll be a number of errors and mistakes, and things that I would tune up on if I was grinding this segment. But really, I think I'm going to go for the crazier one, that's number 2. And the priority I'm making right now is to try to get seeds. Because seeds are always going to be useful. It's always better to have a couple extra points in agility, versus if you find 50 gold in the chest, that's pretty cool, but at the end of the game, 50 gold really isn't worth anything, whereas a couple more agility points is always worth something. Having played around with the game so much for speedrunning, and not as much casually, first time I tried this quest I had no idea what I was doing, because it's something you totally skip until you have a saber cat to ride around, in which case you just go very quickly and directly from place to place. So doing this at night, forgetting exactly where everything is, yeah, it took a while. Another thing to think about is there's no limit to how many wings we can have right now because we just have so much extra gold. So we could, every time, warp back to Fairbury and just go from the front of Fairbury instead of having to go directly from where we're standing every time. And I haven't timed it out yet. It might be faster to just go from the front of Fairbury to the tree. The downside though is the gangs are a little stronger and you get a little better experience when you're going through the woods, which is the way we're going right now. So I probably would take the woods to get to the tree. Way back though, I probably would use a wing and warp, because I think that would be faster, but I haven't again timed it out yet. And as you know, if you've seen any of these runs, diagonal running, there'll be a lot of diagonal running. Now, how the game advances your time of day, it seems to not move while you're in encounters. It seems to move while you're in a town and while you're in the world map. So every time you're in the menu or fight an encounter, that seems to pause the advancement of time. The reason I'm going for all spear points, the next segment will have us down where we can actually start grinding liquid metal slimes, and the spear actually gives you a shot at critting them. There's actually an ability you can use to crit them instead of just attacking a million times and hoping for that task luck. Also, for those interested in watching the Japanese tool-assisted run that has been worked on right now, I've linked below in the description. He's finally started uploading them to YouTube, so you can actually see them in full quality instead of having to stare at a little tiny Nico video. And if you've been paying attention to the news, some companies have been going after Nico videos for tool-assisted runs and ROM hacks and stuff like that. Now, other big difference between these two. Were you to do an RTA in the same route, another option you might start thinking of is, should I get Yangus or not? All it takes to get Yangus back is to do the opening cutscenes, and basically do the whole geyser quest as if you had a team, but just do it by yourself, and as soon as that's completed, you'll get Yangus back. Now, Geyser's not a ridiculously impossible enemy. With just Hero, considering that you have so much gold, it's possible to take them out at level 4 or level 5 without too much ridiculous luck, especially if you can do some shopping over at Port Prospect. The advantages of having Yangus, with his axe skill, he has another crit skill, so the two of you have a better shot at taking out liquid metal slimes than just one hero. The downside is, of course, the time that it takes up. And the other advantage is that then Yangus is leveled up quite a bit. So if you're going to do the same skip that I'm going for, where you just get the rest of the party all at once, skipping all of Jessica's quests and just going straight to Angelo, you would actually have a better shot at killing things with 2 leveled instead of just Herobot on his own trying to take out Lizard and things like that. So now we're on the way back. Again, I haven't timed it. It might be faster to just warp to Fairbury and then run straight to the Hilltop Hut. Oh, sorry. The hut above Waterfall Ford. I wonder what people actually call that. If I look at the FAQs and stuff. Maybe Old Man Hut, something like that. But or Cheese Man Hut. Yeah, things that aren't warp locations we just kind of make up. And is when you do this in a speed run, you don't do this quest until later. And at that point, you already have the Saber Cat, and you already have Holy Water, so just one straight shot. You don't have to like, wait, where am I again? How would I? Is here ever encounter? Like, wait a second, where am I in the map? Just a little unfamiliar with it. So only one more level left and we can finally get the boat. But, as you'll know, there's a big difference between level 5 and level 6. Now for eagle-eyed, you'll start noticing that we have a shadow, the light's starting to change, we're getting closer to the sunrise. And it actually takes a long time for the sun to actually rise. You have some daylight, and then it takes some time, and you finally get the sunrise. So you see, cutting it really close here. Probably could have still made it, but as you'll see after this encounter, I kind of panic and say, yeah, rather not miss it. And again, because it's just a work in progress. Actual grind at a tempo, I would make sure to go to the cave and finish that. Now what we're doing right now, we're here a couple minutes before the sun rises, so we're just waiting. And might as well grab the Seed of Wisdom that we skipped before. And the couple gold coins that we also skipped earlier. You see, it's been quite a while that we've been waiting for the sun to rise. Where it seemed like it's going to rise any second, but you actually have like a good minute. And then magically, NPCs. So, point right now, to get the axe, because then once we finally have Yangus, he can use an axe. The big thing we need is that spear, because then we can start critting things. And then might as well use up all the gold that we have, and get better armor, everything else for ourselves. So we're going to equip ourselves the best that we can, and grab things that we might be able to use, and other members of the party might be able to use, but also we want to use up all the gold, because then if we die, it's not a big of a deal, we can die a bunch of times. Because now, we've already halved our gold by buying things. The resale value of everything is basically 50% of what you paid for it. So, since we know we're going to die, might as well spend all our money, and then if we need gold later on, we can just sell all those farmer scythes for a couple grand. Now you'll notice a menuing mistake that happened right there. I did not want to actually equip the spear, because there's still, we need to get to level 6. At level 6, fine, totally want the spear because we want to take out this little Microlith slime, but for right now, we still have a couple more gangs to take out. So it's going to take an extra menu, go from one to the other. And you'll see here the advantage of just starting right at Port Prospect is that there is a ton of experience from these gangs. The downside though is you're trying to take out gangs that are meant for level 8, level 9, and you're level 1. Even here at level 5, this is still not a guaranteed fight, even with all the most amazing equipment we can possibly get. Also, there's just one of us, and the game expects there to be 2 of you at this point. So this is a gang the game wants to throw at you where you're at about level 8, maybe level 9, and there's 2 of you. Right now we're at level 5 and there's 1 of us, and the riskier route the next route I'm going to be showing you, is you're trying to do this at level 1. Now there are a couple enemies that you can actually kill this way. Hammerhoods, for instance. What they like to do is just psych themselves up, and then try an attack that most of the time misses, which is great. If they straight up attack you, yes, you will die. If they psych up a bunch and actually connect with that attack, it really doesn't matter what your level is, it will do 50, 60 to you. So they're dangerous as a level, even level 8. But as a level 1 to level 5, you love these encounters, because they might just psych up and miss, in which case you can actually take them out. Now the hare on the other end is the dangerous one in this mob, because he's going to psych up once and then attack, and then psych up once and then attack, or even just attack. And he's going to chew away at our health that way. Again, you see the big advantage, 72 experience points right there. All we need is 319, 320, so it doesn't take that many mobs around here to get quickly up to level 6. And you saw we were spending forever grinding those 5, 10, 12 experience battles back at Fairbury to try to get up to level 6. So what I'm doing right now is trying to get one more encounter. That way I can death warp back to Fairbury and save right there. Advantages of that, one, it's faster, because the only place I can save right now is Fairbury, and I have to run all the way up to the church and save. And two, it's just like staying at an inn, you get all your health back. So that's the first one. Let's go to the second. Second version of this, cut out a good part of the shopping, so if you want to watch the shopping, go to the earlier one, but I figure most people are just going to watch straight through and don't care about it. So, recap, segment 1, about 22 minutes, got to level 6. Shopping exactly the same, get a boomerang, equip yourself with some stuff, some herbs, some wings, that sort of thing. Big difference here is we're going straight to Port Prospect where those better gangs are. Problem though is those gangs can wreck your face. Even though they have a bunch of experience, you should not be fighting them at level 1, and you shouldn't be fighting them alone. The game again wants you to be level 8 or level 9, and a party of 2, or a party of 1. So here, I really did not want that hair. And so, alright, might as well see if I can get it to leave, because the hammerhoods you actually do want. Now, there is no reason why that hare should have run away just there. Just ridiculous luck that he did. Normally what I probably should do is just run away from this encounter in general. But what you want here are the hammerhoods. Now, the reason you don't want the hare, that's consistent damage. When you're under-leveled, you don't want a consistent amount of damage, because it can wreck you right away. What you want is an enemy that's difficult, because it has a chance at ridiculous damage. Because along with that chance of ridiculous damage is a chance that it won't occur. So here the hammerhood psychs a bunch, which is bad news if you are what you want to be in this area, which is level 7, level 8, because it might psych its way all the way up and then just attack you. All of a sudden you get 50-60 damage, you're dead. Or he might miss, and what happens here a bunch is they just psych up and nothing happens, they psych up and they miss. And while we wanted them, all that experience, 42 right there. That's even more than we got from our OKS, we're already level 2. So what I'll be hoping for here, take out an encounter early, take out a second encounter of the same sort of enemies, and then make my way down to Family Doctor. Because Family Doctor will be another 40 experiments, and he gives you a coin, and it's an encounter we can actually win. So what I'll be doing would be fleeing from a lot of encounters like this, because there's no way I can beat this setup. take out 1 or 2 gangs, get down to Family Doctor, take him out. That's 3 gangs total. That's at about 120 right there. We need 320 total, and after Family Doctor we should be at a decent level to actually take out some of the weaker gangs. Head on over, pick up the Zoom at Alexandria, probably even get the slime earrings, because those are something we could actually use at the end of the game. Now, third version, and again I've cut out most of the shopping, because it's the same shopping for the first segment. I buy boomerang, I buy a bunch of herbs, I buy some WIP. Now, the goal here would be to go to Port Prospect as soon as possible so that you can get over equipment. Because the equipment here is much better than the equipment you'll find anywhere else, and we have so much gold, might as well use it. Also, time advances very quickly here, so we can get to the sunrise early. Because we're not going to encounters that pause the clock all the time. So we can get a faster sunrise here. The problem is, there's literally nothing for us to do. As you see, I'm just smashing stuff out of boredom. There's nothing to do. There's 1 seed and a little bit of gold, which you would get in any of the routes, because you'd always have a little bit extra time if you got here a little early, depending how your encounters worked out. And so this segment is trying to disguise a little bit, but it's basically you're standing in one place, doing nothing for those 79 minutes. So as you can see, we got that change from day to night, which spawned all the night NPCs. But the problem in this area, the night NPCs are useless. There's nothing that they can do. And the only barrels are the barrels we already got earlier when we were doing the race to Hilltop Hut. There's the 1 extra seed of wisdom, there's a little bit extra gold, neither of which really matter that much. So you can see we did spawn NPCs. There's the old woman who loves the man, and there's that whole side quest if you're playing this game casually. So she's here at night, and you can talk to her. She's cool people. You hang out, talk about people that have broken your hearts and stuff, but there's really not much else to do. And there's that other dock where you would have the boat if you had the boat, but as you know, we'd lose the boat because we grabbed the slime crown, which gives us the ability to save, but now we have to get the boat back, and we have to be level 6 to get the boat back. And yeah, didn't lie, nothing really happening. Only the 3 NPCs spawn. And basically waiting here for the sun to rise. Eventually, it's still dark out. There's the other woman here. There's the 2 of them. One tells you how your skills are going. And if you're in the mobile version, I don't know why she's there at all, because when you bring up your menu, it tells you all the skills right away. And if you go down that well, there's pretty much nothing there. Also, it'll waste time. That's why we're not going to buildings and things, because it's not worth the time to waste. Now, the reason to do this version at all would be then you'd have better equipment, and you'd have a better shot at taking out those gangs out front here, which can wreck your face. But you have scale armor, you have scale shield, you have a spear and a boomerang. You actually have a chance at this, instead of just going here straight with the boomerang and plain clothes. The only advantage here is that the sunrise happens much faster. In that first version we were trying out, it took, I believe, 20 minutes to get the sun up. Here, it takes half that. And the idea would be, well, if you can level faster right out front of here, why not just get the better equipment, go level out front here. And if you die, it's not that big of a deal because you've already used all of your gold, so you're not losing anything when you die. But I think in an RTA, I would still do the first version instead. 1, better sense of accomplishment. 2, you can do more little side things, like you can get the seed of agility. You can get that cheese. Now, cheese is very useful in the game if you have an alchemy pot. The downside, though, is we're not going to have an alchemy pot, at least not for a very long time. So cheese isn't as useful to us. The big thing to use it for would be healing, sure, but also just the sell if we're ever short in gold. And if one day we have that alchemy pot, you can use the cheese for tension and everything else. So sun's about to come up, and you see much faster for the sun to come up than in the versions, because we're not interrupting it with encounters. Also, I haven't timed it yet, but it might be true that time moves faster in a town than on the world map. But I think the big difference is because it pauses when you do encounters. Not that there's a big difference between the two. And again, buying the same stuff. One, a lance for hero, so he can actually use the spear to kill liquid metal slimes. Want better armor and everything else, so the liquid slime doesn't kill you, and you don't die on the way there. Also, you just want to spend money in general, so that way your money is only halved instead of being halved and halved again. Because now you can resell it for about half of its MSRP, and so you don't care as much about dying, because you're not going to lose half your gold and half your gold again and half your gold again. And we're going to want to die quite a bit, because that's the fastest way to get back from things. And to save. Because again, the only save we're going to have for a while is the save at Fairbury. And the save at Fairbury requires you to walk in, and then just keep walking, and then go to the church, and then finally save. Whereas if you die, you're right there, you can save, and all of your HP and all of your MP has been restored. So now that we have the best equipment that we can buy at this point, we're still going to die because we're level 1, and all the encounters around here, the mobs are again made for you to be level 7, level 8, and have 2 people in your party. The advantages here, you'd have a better chance of getting hammer hoods, because they like daylight better than like nightlight. Different enemies and encounters, so there's a better rate of getting hammer hoods, and those are the enemies you want, because you can actually kill them. And you would have lower level mobs, because it's daytime versus nighttime, just in general, to try to get up to your level 6. Now, gel cats, you have a chance of beating at any level. The problem is they cast Crack, and Crack is a very powerful attack. Each of the cats can cast Crack twice before they run out of magic points. The advantage of gel cats is sometimes they'll do nothing, but the problem is they do nothing less than hammer hoods. So as you see, they can still kill you quite often. So those are 3 different ones. Probably going to go with the second, because again, segmented. Thank you for watching.